to Amena Art. Today we are with Amena K here, our artist, and we will be talking about the unicorn painting.
Hi guys, my name is Amena. Welcome to the channel here. Like my daughter Delphi and I said, we are going to go over this painting that I painted here of a unicorn. And she's going to ask me questions today about it, and I'll do my best to answer.
Mm-hmm. So firstly, start off, what is its actual name?
So its actual name is Anastasia.
Is there a reason behind that?
She looked like an Anastasia. You know, some animals just need names. And of course, I'm partial to A names. I wonder why.
I wonder why you're wearing an A necklace right now.
Yeah, I am. I forgot about that. That was not on purpose. I do that sometimes. Sometimes I even have my little earrings that say Amena.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This happens.
It does.
So Anastasia here is actually a unicorn, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's a unicorn.
So do you want to talk about like a little bit of story behind it?
Sure. More about elements here on this
Mm-hmm.
one that I definitely can go on. But, okay, so unicorns. I was obsessed with unicorns when I was a little kid all the way up till I was in my late teens. I was so obsessed with unicorns. I had unicorn posters everywhere as a kid, I remember. Like, every time we went to, I think it was, back then it was like Kmart that we would go to. I can't remember the big popular, department store, but I think it was Kmart or Sears. I think it might have been Sears. But it wasn't Walmart. It wasn't Target. It was like, I think it was Sears and Kmart. But we used to go on the weekends, I remember, and I was really little. I was probably like 8, 9. And there would be a poster section. And every time they came out with a new unicorn poster, I had to have it. So I had tons of unicorn posters growing up. And of course, unfortunately, posters, they do, get old, they do deteriorate. They're not the best quality. But I had tons of them, and I loved looking at them. And I kind of wanted to play homage to that, of, that childhood memory of mine. And I wanted a giant unicorn. So this is a part of a collection that we call Mystic. And this is the second painting I painted for that collection. And of course I had to have a unicorn. I had a dragon already, so I had to add a unicorn. So that's how it came in.
You have a little bit of rose elements in here.
A little?
A little bit.
How many do we have? Let's see, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10,
20.
12. 12, another 6, 7.
A little bit.
Maybe not quite 20. But
You want a slight montage of my roses in case they didn't see the last one?
So we talked about roses back when we talked about the snake painting. So if you haven't caught that, make sure you go ahead and go ahead and watch the snake one, because that might tell you a little bit more about the rose elements. Roses is something that is one of my normal symbols. Every artist has symbolism in their paintings that they keep coming back to, and roses is one of those for me. And it's because it plays a big part in the last little bit over a decade, really. It's a flower that's pretty much just followed us around for my last decade of life at least. And it really means a lot because it's like a family flower, and not intentionally either. I didn't even like roses for a long time until we ended up buying a house, the current house we live in now, and it came with these giant, beautiful rose bushes. And we didn't know how beautiful they were until we got to see them grow and bloom twice a year. They bloom in the spring, they bloom in the fall. And we all fell in love with them. And so it really became our family flower, I would say. So every time we buy flowers, the majority is always red roses because, like I said, it's such a big part. My door even matches my rose bushes, like my actual front door. So again, it's a family flower. So you'll see that play out through a lot of my paintings. I go into more detail on the things I think about roses too in the snake one. I'll leave that to that one because I already covered a lot more about roses on that one, and I want to cover more about this particular painting.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of the roses, why unicorns. So why don't we go into the more stylistic part of it? Is there anything unique about this painting that you did?
Mm-hmm. So with this, you'll see a lot of leaves and grassy elements. That is to emulate kind of two things. One, a dreamlike quality. So the dreamlike quality here emulates that into the leaves that I have here. They have this floaty elements, and I really wanted that. I want it to be like you're dreaming, like you're in this dream state. And so I did the leaves very wispy and dreamy, Also, you know, having this like this, it's more like a field or a wooded, like open, beautiful area. I imagine this unicorn was in this like this beautiful garden, like it's just full of life and full of, you know, where all your dreams will come true. You know, everything you dream of is in this meadow with this where the unicorns hang out. And I know we haven't covered this yet, but you'd probably ask me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so why a unicorn other than the fact that I'm telling you, well, I wanted to do a unicorn, I grew up with it, but why unicorns? You didn't ask me why. Like, why was I so addicted to unicorns back then? Because there is a deeper story. So we all fall in love with things when we're at a young age that really speak to us. And unicorns, particular, all go back to one unicorn. And it was called The Last Unicorn. Mm-hmm. I was so in love with that movie. And it actually, I would say it played a big part in me being an artist. Because if you don't know Studio Ghibli, before they were Studio Ghibli, like the worldwide, global, like animation studio, they actually were a small studio, and it was actually the group of artists that made the artwork ended up going out of business, and they formed this new studio called Studio Ghibli. Well, the old studio, they made just one movie, and it was, well, they probably made a bunch, I imagine. But the one that I remember and knew was The Last Unicorn. And I was so addicted to that movie. We had to watch it every single weekend. Went to Blockbuster. All I wanted to see was the movie again. And it made me question life, even at a young age, because it was just so deep. It's probably not technically made for a kid's movie. Now that I watch it as an adult, I'm just like, probably wasn't good to watch that at that age. But I love the movie. I always was fascinated on like why the characters spoke the way they did, because they had so much depth. They were so real. And then of course we had the main unicorn there, and she just questioned her life and her existence, and I found that fascinating. And so not only the fascinating of like this mysterious animal, like questioning life and things that, you know, I was feeling as a kid, because, you know, you grow up, you ask these questions. She was like, well, why am I here? Like, what is my purpose? Maybe you didn't, but I did. I spent a lot of time on myself. I was the only child living in our household, even though I had stepbrothers. But a lot of time by yourself, you know, you might get a little bit deeper in thought. So, you know, I asked those questions, and I fell in love with unicorns, like I said, not only for their beauty and their elegance and grace, but also because it held such a big prominent part in my growth as a small child.
Well, that kind of goes into the last question I was going to ask, which was if there was anything specific that you wanted to add to it that you want to say, which you brought up The Last Unicorn.
Yeah, The Last Unicorn is probably, you know, like I said, it's one of those things. But there is one more thing I do want to point out that you might have probably, like, maybe was wondering. A lot of people don't even notice it's a unicorn. It looks like a horse, right? And that's because the horn is the same color as the hair. And why did I choose the same color? Was it just happened to choose the same color? Well, no. Nothing's by accident. So the reason why it's like just this solid color and they match and everything, it's not like a bright white horn or anything, it's because in The Last Unicorn and in like any like mythology type of book that goes around unicorns, it's always this glimpse that you see. You kind of look in the distance and you're like, is that really a horse or a unicorn? It's like, did I just see a unicorn? You know, I don't know if you guys feel that, but pretty much when I was a young child and I looked at unicorn books, it was always like you're just walking through the woods and you see this beautiful, you know, horse. And you're like, wait, that's not a horse. That's a unicorn, you know? And I wanted to give you that as a feeling, by a visual feeling. I wanted you to question it. Like, is it a horse or is it a unicorn? Or maybe you're staring at it long enough and you're like, wait, I'm looking at a unicorn. Mm-hmm. It's right in front of your face, but you don't even realize it. And that's how I see unicorns. I see these as these beautiful, elegant creatures that if you're not fully present and you're not fully accepting that unicorns are real in life, you'll never see them. You'll never see them, and they're right in front of your face. You just got to believe in them and be open to the world and the possibilities, and you'll see them.
That is gorgeous saying right there. Thank you for explaining the unicorn Anastasia to us. Mm-hmm. And thank you guys for watching this video. once again, this is Amena K, our artist. I am Delphine. We are with Amena Art. To get anything with Anastasia on it, to go to amenaart.com. And thank you once again for watching Amena Art on YouTube.
Thank you guys. See you later.